Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Math 8 learning. This is your lesson on Pythagorean theorem. Just going to, it's not a very long lesson, but it's a very important lesson. So we're going to get right into it. The Pythagorean theorem, it discusses about right triangles. So let's just make sure that we have an understanding. An angle is the intersection of two rays with a common endpoint. So when we talk about Pythagorean theorem, we're talking about a right triangle, and a right triangle has a 90-degree angle. Okay. So what are the types of angles we have? We have an acute angle, which is less than 90, a right angle, which is 90, an obtuse angle, which is more than 90, but it's less than 180. And then we have a straight angle that is 180 degrees exactly. Okay. So I wanted to go over that real quick. I think your warm-up is about that. So just if you need to go back and replay it, pause it, take notes, take pictures. Types of triangles. We have an equilateral, an isosceles, and a scalene. Equilateral, all the sides are equal. In isosceles, you have two large sides and one small side. In the scalene, none of the sides are equal. So in isosceles, two of the sides are equal and one is unequal. And then in the scalene triangle, none of them are equal at all. It's just a funny looking triangle with funny looking sides. Okay. Oh, I have it all there. Should have clicked. Okay, and then to talk about the angles of a triangle, we have the equal angular triangle, which all three angles are equal, which is, if you think about a triangle, the sums of their angles come up to 180. So if you take 180 and you divide it by 3, that makes all the angles inside a triangle 60 degrees. Okay, you have a right triangle, which one of the angles is 90 degrees. Only one, it can't be two. Because if you take 90 and 90, that gives you 180. And a triangle has 3 angles, so you need 3 angles. And an obtuse has one obtuse angle, which one of them measure bigger than 90. And an acute angle, all the angles are less than 90. Okay? Now moving on to the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is about the right triangle. So let's discuss this right triangle. You have the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the triangle. It is opposite the right angle. So anytime you see a right angle and you cannot tell where the hypotenuse is or the longest side, it's the side that's opposite of it. Okay. These sides are called legs. So the other two sides are called legs of the right triangle. And then that little square indicates that it is a right triangle. Okay, so looking at the Pythagorean theorem here. The Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What does all this mean? It means that if I was to take 21 squared plus 8 squared, I will get whatever the hypotenuse is, which is the longest side. So 21 squared is 441. 8 squared is 64. If you add these two together, you get 505. Now, how do I know what x is? Well, to undo the square, you have to find the square root. So take the square root and make it into, so you would have to find the square root of 505. When I mean the square root, you would have to remove this square, and now this becomes the square root of 505. And once you get the square root of 505, you put it in the calculator, and you get 22.5. So x is actually 22.5. Okay. Looking at this one, where we're just looking at a side of a missing leg, not the hypotenuse, but the missing leg. You fill in all your information within the formula. Always fill in your information. So you have a squared. You don't have the b squared. So that stays as x squared, but you have the hypotenuse this time, which is 55 squared. So 676 plus x squared is equals 3025. And then, just like you would solve an equation, you would subtract 676 from 3025 because you need to get the variable by itself. So you would subtract 676 as my arrow indicates. Okay. This one cancels out. You bring down your x squared. 3025, you get 2349. Now, once again, you have x squared equals 2349. You need to undo that x squared. So x squared equals the square root of 2349. My pen is doing all kinds of writing here. And when you put that in a calculator, you should get 48.5. Okay? Now, that is all I have to share with you about the Pythagorean theorem. Please, please, please be sure to go back, watch the video, put the information. Come see me on my Zooms if you have any questions. And I look forward to seeing your progress in class. Have a good one.